Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolberger. Welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East Update. It's the week of September 12th, but we'll be looking back at what's transpired over the last week in the Middle East, primarily Israel. Just a reminder, grab the PDF PowerPoint that accompanies this presentation. Always much more information in the PDF, and you can get that. It should be a link on the YouTube page, or go to our website at holygroundexplorations.com. Well, as we speak right now, we know one thing for certain. Israel is in an uproar with this judicial reform. What's taking place right now is the Supreme Court is meeting all 15. That's the first time they've all assembled together. And bottom line, we're not going to know the results for weeks, if not a month or so. But it was apparent this last week that Netanyahu was trying to look for some sort of compromise. And Benny Gantz, kind of the leading opponent right now, said that he would accept a judicial overhaul compromise if it would preserve democracy. So it seems there's movement that's going on, but it's too soon to tell. And like I said, whether it's 100,000 people that are from the left or the 100,000 people that are from the right, you can almost sense the turmoil. Well, that is judicial reform, and we won't know, like I said, for weeks. Other news bites, that's what we cover here. Papua New Guinea, I love the comment from Marape, their leader. He said, many nations choose not to open their embassies in Jerusalem, but we have made a conscious choice. For us to call ourselves Christian, paying respect to God will not be complete without recognizing Jerusalem as the universal capital of the people and the nation of Israel. And so that's where the embassy will be. Well said. Israel has just purchased another additional 25 F-35 fighter jets from the U.S., maintaining, again, Israel needs to maintain superiority in the air, and this most likely will accomplish that desire. I think that's it for our news bites. Our articles this week, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the north. The Iranians are just the turmoil, the tension once again. The IDF Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday accused Iran of building an airstrip, an airport, a strip near the Lebanese-Israeli border that will be used, no doubt, exclusively for terrorist attacks against the Jewish state. And he's speaking at a conference. He said the land is Lebanese, the control, however, is Iranian, and the target, Israel. No doubt about it. Then he says, if it comes to a conflict, we will not hesitate to activate lethal force. And again, Hezbollah, Lebanon will pay a heavy and painful price. And so this airstrip is the latest example of the so-called axis of resistance that Iran is putting together. Again, we've talked about this. The threat of Hamas in Gaza in the south, the threat of Hezbollah in the north, this airstrip, and the threat from the Golan, from Syria, a three-pronged in a sense, attack forces coming from different areas will really play havoc with the IDF. So that's that resistance, or as they call it, the axis of resistance. $6 billion, just keep that in mind, $6 billion. The Biden administration just approved the transfer of $6 billion in frozen uranium funds as the parties move closer to a prisoner exchange that could take place as early as next week. 5 prisoners for $6 billion. Now, Biden is going to say, but that can only be used, forget that. Iranian President Abraham Rossini basically came out and just said to Lester Holt of NBC News, the money belongs to the Iranian people, the Iranian government, and so the Islamic Republic of Iran will decide what to do with this money. There's no doubt what's going to be done with that money. We've just talked about the 3-prong attack of Hezbollah, the Golan in Syria, and Hamas. They will fund terrorism with the goal, which they've made clear, to what? Get a nuclear weapon and destroy not just Israel. That's the little Satan, but the U.S. as well. So, question. How could the Biden administration keep the American people and allies, such as Israel, in the dark when Iran's ruling mullahs have made it clear that their top priority is to attack the U.S., to eradicate the Jewish state and wipe Israel off the map? And so what have we done? $6 billion. And then next article, haters are going to hate. Abbas, once again, this is the Palestinians. This is who Israel is supposed to come to agreement, 2-state solution. Abbas can't keep his foot out of his mouth, but he's gone on to say that Hitler and the Europeans didn't kill the Jews because they were Jews, but rather that they fought the Jews because of their social role and their religion. Abbas explained that Hitler fought the Jews because they dealt with usury and money and not because of anti-Semitism. It's becoming more clear than ever before that Abbas is incapable of making peace with Israel. It's clouded by his hatred of the Jewish country, and the reality is that everything needs to be on hold because Israel cannot capitulate to this man whatsoever. And then we have terrorism in Israel. One of the places that we always stay is just inside the Jaffa Gate. And once again, Israel is being attacked, lone wolf sort of things, no way to use Shin Bet or whatever to, this is not organized whatsoever. This is an infused hatred that the Palestinians are continuing to propagate. Once again, it was Golda Meir it was famous for the saying that we'll only have peace with the Arabs when they love their children more than they hate us. And once again, whether it's the summer camps or whether it's the elevation of terrorists into shaheeds, are once again, bottom line, spinning out of control. And we just need to continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And then we have UNESCO coming out. You got to love this. And the Washington Post, by the way, this is the Washington Post, has published a data analysis this week indicating how the globe is experiencing an increase of the amount of annual days that are so hot that they're putting the humans at risk. But in addition to this, again, last week we talked about Jericho being with UNESCO coming out, and the country that Jericho is in, they're claiming is Palestina. And I never knew there was a country of that. But now, in addition to what this Washington Post article came out, the map that the Post put up has Jerusalem in Palestine. Once again, this is making its way, coming to a head. And again, all things collaborating. Is it going to be related to this Abrahamic Accords with the Saudis? Not sure, but you're sensing it. It's coming. What? Jericho? No, not Palestine. Jerusalem in Palestine? You've got to be kidding me. No, they're not kidding us. That is the grand plan, to do away with Israel once and for all. And then the last article we have is, again, the Abrahamic Accords. You can read this for yourself, but with the Saudis, Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, is trying to convince Trump to support this, to allow the Biden administration to move forward with this compromises and whatever. He says to his father-in-law, it's a victory for you. You're the one that started all of this. But the bottom line is, I'm still not certain that this is the best move because of every string that's attached to this. So again, we're going to have to wait and see. I've been mentioning this, but new movie out, the Route 60, the Biblical Highway, is now out, or I think within the next week. It's showing in major movie theaters, and so I want to encourage you to check that out. Remember, this, let's call it what it is. It's political, right? Because this Route 60 is going to go through the heartland of Israel, starting in Hebron and going through the mountains of Samaria and Judea, the heart of the West Bank. And it's with Pompeo and David Friedman, in a sense, saying this is the biblical highway. So if you get a chance, check that out. And then speaking of that biblical highway, we're heading back to Israel on February 21st through March 1st. Can't wait to get back there, and can't wait to bring a group with us. And so we call it Revealing Israel, and it's starting to fill up. So check out our website, holygroundexplorations.com, and join us in the land where it all began. Amen. God bless you, and shalom.